Hello all, in this video we will talk about encapsulation in Java. So before reading the definition of the encapsulation, how it works, let's see the problems if you don't use the encapsulation. So in the previous examples of dog, what we have done, like dog has two instance variables, right? Let's see the dog class, okay? Now if you see, dog has two instance variables, size and the name. Now anyone can access the size and anyone can set the name of the dog, right? Let's see. So if you see what had happened, like I can create a dog object here, okay? Now let's say I create a dog object and then I can set the size of the dog, like well, I can set the name of the dog as like test name, okay? Now if this particular class, like if this is the case, let's say there is a hacker or there is a faulty developer who tries to destroy the code, and definitely he has access to the size and the name. He can change the size as 0, he can do this, and he can change the name as null. He can do this faulty operation. So since these instance variables like size and name are accessible to everyone outside the class, like class outside the class, then anyone can do any faulty operations and this will cause loss, right? So to avoid this, what we can do is, let us see this electric guitar class, okay? Now this is the class diagram of that. What it has three instance variables, brand and then number of pickups and whether Rockstar uses it or not, okay? And here if you look at these class, you can directly, like you can create an electric guitar class and then you can set these brands, number of pickups and Rockstar uses it, you can do that. But if you want to avoid using that, what you can do is you can declare these variables as private, okay? So these are the access modifiers we were talking in the first video, like private and the public. So when you make these instance variables private, then no one else outside this class can access this. Only methods present inside this electric guitar class can access it, but apart from that no one else can access it. Let's see, let me do that. What I'll do is I'll create a instance of the electric guitar class. Now I'm doing it new electric guitar, and then I want to set the brand, okay? Now if I'm trying to set the brand, like test brand, let's see what happened. It is throwing error. What is the error? Let's look at it. Brand has private access in electric guitar. So since brand has private access, private means it is accessible only to its methods, only to the members that are present inside this class, not to the outside. Now I am using electric guitar from the dog test drive class. So whatever the methods or the variables that are outside of this electric guitar class can't access these variables, okay? That's why when you make these instance variables as private, no one else can access it. Now what is the way to set the brand? Like if you make it private, no one else can access it, but when you are creating an object, you want to give your own names, right? Then how is that possible? You can do that, like as soon as you make this particular instance variables as private, what you can do is you can add setters and getters. So what are mean by setters and getters? So setters and getters are like, let's take this brand. So there will be one setter and one getter. So setter is to set the brand name and getter is to get the brand name. Because let's say you want to print electric guitar dot brand, okay? Like you would have set some value and then you want to print it dot brand. If you see, then it will throw error. If you see, it will throw error because it says it has private access. You can't set a value and you can't get a value as well, because you might think that, okay, setting the value can be dangerous, because if you allow right access to the brand or the instance variables, any faulty developer can misuse that, but anyone can get the values, right? No, it doesn't allow that as well. When you make this particular variable as private, you can't set the value and even you can't get the value. So the way is you add setters and getters. So setters are like all the setter are used to set the values for the variables, and all the getters are used to get the values for the variables. Okay, now if you see here, you have six methods, one like say three getters and three setters. So you have three instance variables, right? So each instance variable will have one getter and setter. So for all three instance variables, we have three getters and three setters. If you say get brand of and then set brand of, get brand of gives you the brand value. If you look at it here, it is returning the brand, and the return type of this is matching this one string, and you are setting the value set brand of. So you have to pass whatever value you want to set for this brand, okay? And this value, this method parameter type is matching this one, okay? And if you look at this get number of pickups, so it is used to return the value of the pickups, and set number of pickups, it accepts a parameter which is of type integer, and then it will set whatever value you pass, it will set for the number of pickups. And get Rockstar uses it, whether Rockstar is using it or not. So what it does is it will just return this value. And then set Rockstar uses it, it will accept boolean value, and then it will use that value to set this. So here if you see, like from outside, like all these setters and the getters, these methods are present inside this electric guitar class, right? So these methods can access these variables because these methods are present inside the class. These are not present outside the class. So to set the name or to set the value for instance variables and to get the instance variables, what we have to do is make all the instance variables private and then add setters and getters. So if you look at the setters and getters, all these are public, okay? The access modifier for all the methods are public, okay? Now when it is public, anyone can access these setters and getters, okay? Now I can do this public and anyone can access these setters and getters. Let's see. Now I want to set the brand name, right? What I can do is electric guitar dot set brand of test brand, okay? And then electric guitar dot is like set Rockstar uses it or not, false. I can do that. And electric guitar dot set number of pickups, it's an integer 10. So and then what I can do is I can print these values as well, like system.out.println I can do. And then what I can do is electric guitar, before you used to directly use this brand, but now what you have to do is get brand of, and then you can print these values. System.out.println, what you can do is electric guitar dot get Rockstar uses it or not. And then what you can do is you can do system out.println and you can use electric guitar dot get number of pickups, okay? So by replacing, like by making the instance variables as private and then adding setters and getters for each and every variable, you are avoiding a situation where any faulty developer can modify the values. But you might get one doubt, okay? Now I did not do anything extra to avoid the case what we have discussed. Even here what I can do is I can set the size or something as null. Even now I can do it, right? Because instead of directly setting the value, what you are doing, you are just calling the set brand of, and even inside the brand they are directly assigning the value. They did not do anything extra, right? So you might get one doubt, what is the use of using setters and getters? So one thing here is, now initially they don't have any logic. They don't have any logic in addition to the ones we are doing when these were public. They are just setting it. But let's say if they want to really add restrictions, let's say they don't want these number of pickups, like set number of pickups, they want to add restrictions saying that this number of pickups should always be greater than 0. So what you can do, if number of pickups greater than 2, then only you assign this value. Else you can throw you can throw some exception, okay? You can throw some exception here. So you can do this. So what you are doing is, like anyone can invoke set brand or set instance variable, but inside set you can add your own logic to prevent someone else by to prevent someone else modifying the data, like by setting the size as 0 and the name. Here, if I add this condition, only if the number, if only if a user passes, only if a user passes number value greater than 2, then only you can set the number of pickups. Else it will throw an exception. Okay, you can throw an exception. That can be done. So using the setters and getters, what you can do is you can add your own logic. Let's say you don't have any additional logic, and then people think that you can use this as a public instead of using the setters and getters. But in software industry, you don't know what modifications you need to make in future. Then let's say even if there is no additional logic, if you just go with the setters and getters, and everywhere people, whoever is using the get brand, whoever is using the brand name and all, they are using this get brand of, or they are using set brand of. And after 4 years or 5 years, they want to put some logic while setting the variables. Then they will add the setter methods. Then here making the modifications in the electric guitar class is so easy. You can just add a setter method, and whatever the logic you need, you can do it simply. But think about the class, think about the classes or the methods which is using this particular electric guitar class. So there can be so many places where people are getting the like people are getting the values, or people are setting the values for the electric guitar. So electric guitar dot brand, people might be using something like this, dot brand equal to 12, or electric, or people might be thinking int number of pickups. Before setters and getters, people were using this logic, right? Dot number of pickups. Okay, people will have this logic. Now suddenly after 4 years, you come and you add setters and getters here. Okay, now everywhere people whoever are using the instance variables of this particular class, they have to go and change this logic. Now here, instead of number of pickups, what the people has to do, they have to change to the get number of pickups. And then here dot set brand, like here people has to change the logic to set brand of, and then of 12 they have to do. Okay, so everywhere in the classes where this electric guitar is used, everywhere people has to go and they have to change the logic. Okay, so even if there is no extra logic when you are writing a new class, go with setters and getters. Okay, initially you can just have the plain setting, just setting the value whatever you are getting as a method parameter, you can just set it. But in future, if you get any additional requirements or modifications has to be made, then you need to make only changes here. You need not make changes in all the other classes where this electric guitar is being used, right? So this is the usage of the using the setters and getters, and this is the and encapsulation is nothing but you make these instance variables private, and you have getters and setters for each instance variable. So this will avoid modifying the private data or modifying the instance variables by other classes or other methods. This is nothing but the encapsulation. Let's see the other examples as well. So if you see here, even in the previous examples, we were talking about dog and cat. So initially what you were doing, you are doing the height of the cat as 27. Suddenly people can come, like if there is no these setters and getters, people can come and change the height to 0. Then that will definitely become a problem. So instead of that, what you can add a setter method like this, set height of int height. Only if height is greater than 9, then only set this height value. Else you can throw an exception. So this will prevent your data getting damaged. Okay. Yeah. And even if you see here, size, good dog has only a single size variable and it will bark it. Okay, now if you don't have the setter method, what you were doing, setters and getters, in 3 plus 24 you were doing, or in 3 plus good dog dot size of something like that. But instead of that, what you have to do, once you change the values to the setters and getters, you have to do 1 dot get size of. Okay, yeah. And let's see how the arrays gets accessed. Now we have seen the differences for the just primitive variables, right? If you make the primitive instance variables to private, let's see the array case. Array case is like it's quite similar to what we have done. The only difference here is, like let's say here pets of 0 equal to new dog we are doing, right? So here what you are doing, pets of before to the setters and getters method, what we are doing, pets of 0 dot size equal to 30 we were doing. Now instead of that you will do dot set size of. And one more thing is, if you want to get the size before to the changes getters and setter method, pets of 0 dot size you are doing it. Here get size of. These are the things you should follow wherever you are accessing the instance variable, be it you are setting the value for the instance variable or you are fetching the instance variable value. Wherever you are setting the instance variable value, you should use the setter method, and wherever you are fetching the value, you should use the getter method. So the simple rule is like, to protect your data or instance variable data, or to protect instance variables are nothing but state, right? State of any object. To protect your state, always give private as your access modifier and have setters and getters methods. Though initially you don't have any logic that needs to be added for the setters and getters, just go with just setting whatever value you get to the instance variables, and then in the getter method you can just return it. But in future, based on your data, you can add more modifications. If you follow this, you need to change the places where all these values are being used. Okay, and let's see what all these let's see what all these method variables and the local variables. So as we already know, instance variables are the ones that are declared inside the class but outside the method. So these two are all the instance variables. But whereas the method variables or the local variables are the ones that gets declared inside the method. So if you see this poor dog, this is the method variable or the local variable. Okay, let me show you one more example. Now if you see here, go off, void go off. So these int x and int z are the local variables or the method variables, because these are only inside a method. These can't be accessed outside the methods, right? And the only difference is, like let's say you have this horse, okay, even if you don't give default values, it will still work. It won't throw any error. By default, you need not provide any default value. What JVM does is, whenever you create an instance for the horse, it will put default values for these instance variables. Like for height, for double, it will add 0.0, and for string, it will add null. It will add default values by default. But whereas for local variables, what you have to do is, you need to provide the default values, else it will fail. Here if you see, I just declared it, I did not provide any value, default value, and now I am trying to access it. If you see here, variable x might not have been initialized. So I can go and do x is equal to 2. This will work. So before using the local variable, you have to initialize it, else it will fail. Okay, this is about instance variables and the method or local variables. And we will talk about one more thing called equality operator. So let me show that with an example. Okay, so this equals operator in Java, if it is used, what it does is, I'll tell it straight in a simple manner. So equality symbol, what it does is, let's say whatever is, when you are doing equality, you compare two things, be it anything, be it an integer, byte, or be it an objects. What it does is, whatever you are comparing, it will see what are the bits that are present inside that to the left side, and it will see what are the bits that are present to the right side, and it will compare if both bits are equal or not. That's it. It will just do a simple bit comparison operation. Now if you see int a equal to 3, what you do, like when you declare something like that, you will have a holder to hold integer value, and that value is 3. So when you convert 3 into the binary bits, this is the value, and byte b equal to 3. So byte, you will declare a container of type byte, and it will have the 3 value. And when you convert 3 to the binary bits, this is the value. And if you use if a equal to b, so it will compare what are the bits that are present inside a, these are the bits, and what are the bits that are present inside b, these are. So those two are equal, right? So it will return true. Okay. Now this is the primitive comparison. Now let's see the object comparison. Object comparison is also the same thing. So let's say you have a reference variable here and you have a reference variable here. And as we already discussed, reference variable will hold bits to access the objects, right? So it will compare these bits, whether the bits that are present in the reference variable or not, which means that it will not actually compare the object values present inside the object. It will just compare whether both references are same or not, whether both are referring the same object or not. So if you consider the reference variable, it will have bits which will provide a way to access the object. Let's say if both are accessing the same object, both reference variables bits will be same. If both are accessing a different object, then both variable references will differ. So let's say here foo a equal to new foo of, let's say you have created two objects, okay, and then a b, this is a, and then let's see this is b. Both are referring the different objects. See, a is referring this object and b is referring the another object. If both are referring the different objects, obviously the reference variables will be different, because reference variable is nothing but bits that provides a way to access these objects. Since these objects are different, the reference variable bits will also be different. Now if you see, if a equal to b, it will return false, okay. And now what we have done, foo c equal to a. So this is the c, okay. And since you are assigning a to c, what you are doing, whatever the bits that are present inside this reference variable, you are copying the same reference variables to c. So which means that if the reference variable bits are same, c also referring the same object, okay. Now if a equal to c, what it does, it will go to the reference variable and it will check the bits. So this is accessing this object, so this will have some bits, and c is accessing the same object, it will also have the same number and same type of bits. So if a equal to c, will return true. Now let's see b equal to c. b is referring this object, so the bits that are present in the reference variable, and c is referring this object, the bits that are present in the c variable, both are false, okay. So like equality operator, it will just check the bits that are present on the left side of the equals and the right side of the equals are same or not. So to simplify it, for primitives it will check the value, and for objects it will check whether it is referring the same object or not. And sometimes the equality, like let's say sometimes you might see that you would be using equals of method instead of this operator. So equals of method behaves a little different, and we will check that in later videos. But to brief about equals of method, it doesn't care about which objects they are referring to. It will just care about whether the name and size are same or not. Let's say you have two different objects, okay, but it could be the name and size are same. In that case, you might want this equals operator return true, okay. For equals, you can add your own logic, that we will discuss it in the later videos, okay. Yeah, so in this video, we spoke about encapsulation, and the simple rule is make instance variables private and add public getters and setters. And we also spoke about method variables and instance variables. Method variables has to be initialized. And the final thing is we spoke about the equality operator. Thank you.